I spent 10 years building my wife's dream house. The day we moved in, she handed me divorce papers. But she didn't know my dad was a lawyer, and we made sure she'd never see our kids again. We moved in on a Friday. The air still smelled like sawdust and fresh paint. The kind that sticks to your clothes and tells you this house is brand new. Boxes were stacked in every corner, labeled in Melissa's perfect handwriting. Afternoon light cut through the big glass doors she'd insisted on, hitting the kitchen island I'd spent 2 weekends sanding smooth. The granite countertops gleamed. The custom cabinets I'd built by hand stood perfect and level. 10 years. 10 years of working double shifts. 10 years of bleeding my savings dry. 10 years of coming home with splinters in my hands while she picked out paint samples. "It's perfect," Melissa said, tracing the counter's edge. "It is," I said, smiling. "We did it." She turned to face me. Her expression was calm. "Cold. You did it." Then she handed me a manila envelope. I laughed. "What's this?" "Divorce papers." My stomach dropped. "You're joking." Her face didn't move. "I'm not. Melissa, my wife of 12 years. Mother of our 2 kids, Emma and Jake. The woman I'd proposed to on a beach in Mexico. The reason I'd worked 16-hour days building this house, she designed down to every detail." "You waited until we moved in?" She shrugged. "I wanted the kids to have a stable home before I left. Don't make this harder than it needs to be." "What about them?" "They'll live with me. Obviously. This is their home." Her voice was rehearsed. Practiced. "You can't just." "I can. And I am. My lawyer will be in touch. You should probably get one too." Then I saw it. The faint smirk. The new iPhone I hadn't bought her. The perfume I didn't recognize. The way she kept glancing at her phone. There was someone else. "Who is he?" "That's not relevant." She walked out. Left me standing in the kitchen I'd built, holding divorce papers I hadn't seen coming. The front door closed. Her car started. She drove away. I sat down on a box and read the papers. She wanted everything. The house. Primary custody. Child support. Alimony. Half my retirement. Everything I'd worked for. At the bottom, it said the papers had been prepared by Grant Morrison, attorney at law. I didn't know anyone named Grant Morrison. That night, after Melissa took the kids to her sister's for the weekend, I sat alone in the half-furnished living room. Her coffee mug still sat on the counter. Divorce papers lay on the table. I stared at them for an hour. My phone buzzed. "My dad." "David? You sound like hell, son. What happened?" I told him everything. Every word. Every look. The house. The papers. The way she'd smiled when she said she deserved more. He didn't interrupt. Just listened. When I finished, he said, "Bring me the paperwork tomorrow morning." My father retired 2 years ago, but he never really stopped being sharp. 40 years as a family lawyer taught him every trick. When I handed him the papers Saturday morning, he flipped through them slowly, page by page. Then again, faster. "She's good," he said finally. "This was drafted by someone who knows what they're doing. So I'm screwed." I didn't say that. He pulled out his phone and started typing. 2 minutes later, he turned the screen toward me. "Grant Morrison, mid-40s, partner at Morrison & Associates, specializing in family law." And there, in a photo from some legal conference, was Grant standing next to Melissa. The photo was dated 3 months ago. "Son of a bitch," I whispered. Dad nodded. "I've seen this pattern 100 times. Woman consults a lawyer. Lawyer provides comfort. Things get personal. Next thing you know, the lawyer sees an opportunity. She's sleeping with her lawyer. Probably. But what matters is this." He pointed to a clause. "She's claiming the house is marital property." "When did you buy the land?" 12 years ago. Right after we got engaged." "Before the marriage?" "Yeah." "What?" Dad smiled. Not a happy smile. The smile of a predator. "Because if the land was purchased before the marriage, and you paid for construction with your own income, then the house isn't marital property. It's yours." My heart started pounding. "Are you serious?" "Dead serious. But we need documentation. Bank records. Receipts. Everything." I kept it all. Every receipt. Every invoice. "Good. Bring them tomorrow. We have work to do." For the next week, I kept calm. Let Melissa believe she'd already won. She came by every day with Grant. Expensive suit, perfect hair, calling me buddy. "Hey buddy, once the paperwork's finalized, you'll want to start looking for an apartment. The kids need space here." Melissa stood beside him, nodding. I played along. "Of course. Whatever's best for them." Grant smiled. "Glad you're being reasonable." The moment they left, I called my dad. We spent 2 nights in his office, surrounded by documents and coffee cups. The land deed, purchased in my name only 2 months before the wedding. Melissa had never been added. I'd asked once if she wanted to be on the paperwork. She'd waved me off. Too much legal stuff. You handle it. Bank records. Every payment for materials, contractors, permits, all from my personal account. Melissa contributed exactly $0. Emails. Dozens showing Melissa approving purchases. Use the account, babe. Whatever you need for the house. And then Dad found something else. Look at this. 2 months before filing, Melissa had withdrawn $50,000 from our joint savings. Transferred it to a private account I didn't know existed. She was planning this, Dad said quietly. For months. My hands shook. $50,000. Money for Emma's college fund. Can we use this? Absolutely. This shows premeditation. She was hiding assets. No judge will like that. By the end of the week, we had everything. Friday morning, Grant called my dad's office to discuss settlement. I listened on speakerphone. Grant's voice was smooth. So, Mr. Richardson, I think we can wrap this up quickly. My client is willing to let your son keep his retirement if he signs over the house. Dad leaned back. His voice was polite, almost friendly. Here's my counteroffer. Melissa gets nothing. Not the house. Not the car. Not alimony. And we're asking for primary custody. Silence. Then Grant laughed. With all due respect, that's not going to fly. The house was built on land purchased before the marriage, in my client's name only. Every dollar came from his personal income. Your client contributed nothing. It's not marital property. More silence. We'll let a judge decide, Grant said coldly. We will. And the judge will be interested to know your client withdrew $50,000 into a private account 2 months before filing. That's dissipation of marital assets, Grant. The line went dead. Dad smiled. Now we wait. That night, Melissa called me. You had no right to go through my accounts. You used my money, I said calmly. That gives me every right. You're not taking my kids, David. They're our kids, and the court will decide. I'm their mother, and I'm their father. The father who's been here every night while you planned your exit with your lawyer boyfriend. Silence. Then, cold. You'll regret this. No, I don't think I will. I hung up. The hearing was 2 weeks later. When we walked into the courtroom, Melissa was already there with Grant. Conservative dress, minimal makeup. The devoted mother routine. The hearing started. Grant painted Melissa as a devoted mother who just wanted stability for her children. Then my dad stood. He presented the land deed, the bank records, the emails, every piece of evidence. Your Honor, the petitioner claims this house is marital property. The evidence shows otherwise. The land was purchased before the marriage. Every dollar spent on construction came from my client's income. The petitioner contributed nothing financially. Grant tried to object. Your Honor, my client contributed in other ways. Picking out curtains isn't a financial contribution, Dad said flatly. People laughed. The judge didn't. Then Dad dropped the bomb. Furthermore, we have evidence the petitioner withdrew $50,000 into a private account 2 months before filing. This was done without my client's knowledge. He handed over the bank statements. Melissa's face went pale. Grant stood, stammering. Your Honor, that money was hidden, Dad finished. Hidden in preparation for this divorce. The judge studied the documents. Then Dad continued. We also have evidence suggesting an inappropriate relationship between the petitioner and her attorney during this case. He handed over photos. Melissa and Grant at a wine bar. At a hotel lobby. Getting into his car together. Grant was sweating. Your Honor, I request a recess. Request denied, the judge said. I've heard enough. My heart pounded. The judge shuffled his papers. The courtroom went silent. I've seen enough. Everyone froze. He read his decision slowly. The house was built on land purchased prior to the marriage. All construction costs were paid by the petitioner from personal funds. Therefore, the house is not marital property and will remain with the petitioner. Grant's face fell. Regarding the $50,000, the court finds this to be dissipation of marital assets. The respondent will return those funds. Melissa's eyes went wide. And as for custody, the judge looked at Melissa. The court finds the respondent demonstrated a pattern of deception. Primary custody is awarded to the petitioner. Melissa's head snapped up. What? The respondent will have supervised visitation every other Saturday. She stood. You can't do this. The judge's voice was flat. Ma'am, you did this. Outside, Grant tried to approach me. I walked past him without a word. Melissa stood by her car, crying into her phone, realizing she'd lost everything she thought she'd won. Dad walked beside me. How do you feel? Like I can breathe again. She'll appeal, but she won't win. And Grant's going to have ethics problems. Good. 2 weeks later, Melissa's appeal was denied. She got supervised visitation, 2 hours every other Saturday, at a state-monitored facility. Grant stopped returning her calls after his firm opened an ethics investigation. The house, the one I'd built with my own hands, stayed mine. Every window, every tile, every cabinet, all mine. The first night the kids came home, Emma hugged me and didn't let go. I missed you, Dad. I missed you too, sweetheart. Jake was quieter, but when I tucked him in, he looked up at me. Are we staying here? For real. For real. This is home. He nodded. Good. I went downstairs to the kitchen Melissa had designed, poured myself a drink, sat at the island I'd built. The house was quiet, peaceful, mine. A month later, Melissa sent a text. I made a mistake. I'm sorry. Can we talk? I stared at it for a minute. Then I deleted it.